We took the big leap and we went from a gas stovetop to this electrical induction cooktop, and we're pretty happy with the selection. So 17 years ago, we had our little kitchen remodeled and we replaced the gas oven with an electrical oven, but we kept the gas cooktop. And over time, it had deteriorated and it was time for a new cooktop. The knobs were coming off. And we looked around and there's a lot of buzz about the induction cooktops. We don't know anyone who has one. We heard good things about it, but we were drawn to the overall nice, sleek profile, which seemed to fit in better with our kitchen than the clunky gas cooktop. Now, we are not gourmet chefs. We just do normal cooking for the most part, you know, soups and salads and, you know, fry a few things and grilled cheese and pasta. Nothing exotic. We don't need anything super special. But we looked around and we found this GE monogram. This is a 30-inch cooktop. And you'll laugh, but we liked it because of the color. We liked that silver color as opposed to the black. And the big challenge was having to run a new electrical line. We had one line run for the oven when the kitchen was remodeled, but we couldn't pull the wires through that conduit, so we had to run a new line. And we don't have an attic to get through, so we had to run around the side of the house, and that was $2,000. Now, the cooktop itself was $2,400, so it would have been way cheaper to go with a quality gas cooktop. But we've heard about the pollution concerns with natural gas, and we figured, well, maybe it's time to go electric and get away from natural gas, which just seems to keep going up and up in terms of the cost. The installation, once we had the electrical line underneath here in place, the installation was very quick. The gentleman came out and just within a couple hours had everything up and running, and we flipped it on and wow, it worked. It boiled water, so we were happy. And one of the biggest surprises for me is the lack of waste heat. It just doesn't get as hot. So when you turn on a gas cooktop, you have the flame, which is super hot on the bottom of the pan, but then it goes up around the pan and everything just gets warm. The other pots, like the handles, sometimes would get too warm, and just the handles of maybe the pot that you're working on get up, but you don't have that with the induction. It's just the bottom of the pan getting hot. You don't have all that flame around the side. And so I can see that as a huge benefit during the summer, because in the summer, you cook in a couple different things. You got the air conditioning going, and this is like an open furnace. So our air conditioner is fighting with this furnace to try and keep us below like 90 degrees in here. But I don't think we're going to have that kind of issue since the flame has been eliminated, and now we just have the induction heating the pan to heat the contents of the pan. Now, the induction does heat quicker. The pans get hotter quicker. But doing some of the cooking, it seemed like, the liquids weren't it took longer for water or the contents that, the vegetables to cook, until I realized that it was kind of relative. So we set up a skillet and that gets hot really quick. And I was used to having to wait longer for the skillet. And then of course, the soup, or if I was steaming vegetables, that would have time to get to a boil and start steaming those. But the skillet was done before the soup or the vegetables. Take a look at my, doing my grilled cheese. Okay, so we'll try and do some grilled cheese sandwiches and soup. So first I need to learn how to turn this thing on.
Okay, that works. Hit low. Okay, that looks good. And they say usually start off on low or maybe a little bit higher. We can use the finger to do that. And then this one right here turns that on. And I'll go to medium. Well, within just a couple minutes, it's warm. Don't feel a lot of extra heat like we normally do with the gas. So it may not be quite warm enough, but I'll just stick it on there. No sizzle, sizzle. Maybe I'll increase the temperature here. That's fairly easy. They say if you turn it on high, it will shut off from high, maybe go down to medium after 10 minutes. Ooh, they're already brown on the bottom. Yep, cheese is melting. That's a good sign. Put them in the middle. Yeah. And if not careful, get a little burn on there. So we're at about 6 minutes right now. Whoa, look at that. That got cooked quick. I can see why you don't want it on high. Oh, I see. Usually the plus and the minus is sometimes a little bit more accurate than using your finger, especially if your fingers are greasy, it looks like. Could be a little bit warmer, but soup is warm. You can certainly drink it or eat it at 7 minutes and 40 seconds from when I first started the cooktop.
So that was interesting, and that's something we're going to have to get used to, is the timing when you start a particular pot or pan and what you're cooking, because some things will take much quicker than you anticipated. There is a hum when the elements are on high. You can kind of hear it. I have the video when I was working on this, and the recorder really picked up the sound of that hum, but I don't know if it was so much of the hum or potentially the electrical interference it might have been picking up on, because it seemed to really be strong in that one video as I got close to the cooktop. But I'm going deaf, so I don't really hear too much of that stuff.
Is that minutes or seconds?
Seconds. That's minutes.
And then what do I do? Hit it again? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, then it starts counting again. Oh, that's... Okay, now you can do it. And just hitting the plus makes it go to 100%. Do we need to turn on the fan? That's hot. There's just no heat. There's no flame heat.
Okay, I'm gonna flip these.
Okay, go for it. Oh yeah, that's way down real quick.
What was that?
Oh, it's telling you it only has a minute left on the little beepy. I don't know, that cooks pretty quick, but the whole water thing doesn't boil as fast as everyone says it.
So I'm thinking that we still need to start stuff that needs to boil sooner, just like we normally did with the gas. But the other stuff, the skillet, that cooks pretty quick.
They put down.
Just turn them off and we'll just wait for cauliflower to finish up. Well, little patty thing looks good. The water boiled over on the cauliflower, but it's just water. Maybe did cook a little bit quicker than before, but all worked. The timer I like, and it's not super loud, but it kind of gives you an idea of what's going on, and it's right there built into the cooktop. I like the control lock feature because you can hit that and then you can clean the cooktop, because sometimes just touching these things, you know, you'll hit one and it just kind of comes on, and you didn't mean to. So the control lock is very nice, and it's got a hot surface indicator on there. So even though if you take it off the pot, you know, the glass, you could probably, you know, hurt yourself, but it does cool down really very quickly. There's also a Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connect. I set up the Wi-Fi just the app from the phone. You know, I finally got it connected. It doesn't really do much, but it's there. The Bluetooth is for the pots and pans that have an electrical or a temperature element in it, and so you can set the temperature of that pot, and I can see how that would be really good for searing certain things, or for candy making, where you need a very specific temperature and you can't get the sugar too hot because you're going to burn it. So I'll maybe get one of those in the future and try it out and do a video on it. Otherwise, we've been very happy so far what we have cooked on it, and I really like the look. It's one of those things, of all the things we buy for the house, you kind of, but this one really works. I like the aesthetics, I like the design, and I think it looks good in the kitchen. So if you have any comments or questions, you can leave those down below. I don't know if I'll be able to answer them, but I'll try. Otherwise, you should consider an induction cooktop. It has a lot of benefits to it, and they are a little bit more expensive, some of them, but so far we've been happy. So you have a wonderful cooking day.